Mr. 100 Gram.
So if money talking, my talking round the clock. What you need, you cop it. The bills, them pounds, them rocks. A couple niggas ballin', cause they got a block. A royal flush will spot them, right around the top. So I'ma make it bounce back, so all you get is straight pick. She fucking niggas' pockets, now they need a rape kit. Money's my motivation, that's why they hate chicks. Mommy talking round the clock, nigga no breaks, bitch. We carry big weight, we will big pun the streets. Been about mine since I was in my dungarees. We blow a big tree the size of a jungle leaf. He think he big meat supplying with 100 piece. I'ma make it bounce back so all you get is straight pip. Triple B, no in between, so all the pictures can't miss. Have your daddy stuck right down that chimney like Saint Nick. To take your 2 cents and stick him in your anus. It's royal flush, nigga. I see your pantyhose. You bragging about one bra, bitch, nigga, I any hoes. I do not mingle, rotate them like hot singles. Just the sound of my money make they twat tingle. So if money talking, my talking round the clock. What you need, you cop it. The bills, them pounds, them rocks. A couple niggas ballin', cause they got a block. A royal flush and spot them, right around the top. So I'ma make it bounce back, so all you get is straight hit. She fucking niggas' pockets, now they need a rape kit. Money's my motivation, that's why they hate chicks. Mommy talking round the clock, nigga no breaks, bitch. I'm the lotto pick, I keep an honest click. And if we were a thing, that wouldn't be stopping it. We smell a bitch as if he stuck up in some doggy shit. Shorty sniffs my money, that gets me doggy licks. It's absurd how the chain is chipped up off the bird. Oh, half the rims, half the panties taken off his girl. Fuck the ground, on my niggas post smell them birds. They say talk is cheap, so I'ma wholesale my words. I'ma make it bounce back. Niggas getting straight pit, choking to his face blue. Bust the nigga bank crip. Fuck around, all my niggas off that same shit. Man, ain't no problem to get banged quick. So if money talking, my talking round the clock. What you need, you cop it. The bills, them pounds, them rocks. A couple niggas ballin', cause they got a block. A royal flush, you spot them, right around the top. So I'ma make it bounce back, so all you get is straight pip. She fucking niggas' pockets, now they need a rape kit. Money's my motivation, that's why they hate this. Mommy talking round the clock, nigga no breaks, bitch.
Rocking with the best.
Run that back. For we deep
You're
dive in it.
rocking with the best.
Run that back. Run that back. Run that back.
We're about to take it back.
Run that back one time. Get in here. Get in here. Get in here.
We're about to take it back.
Congratulations to Tamika from Paths to Freedom, girl. You did it. 50,000 views in a short 2 months. I got to give it to you, girl. You're doing that, motherfucker.
Bring that one back from the top.
You're doing that, motherfucker. Class on securities. Auto contracts. Now, before we deep dive into this, those of you who watch my Right to Set Off series, which it applied to other things, but it's more centered around the auto. Keep all that in mind. And I probably need to hurry up and get to it before she get wind that I'm about to review it. But without further ado, Big X to plug.
You're rocking with the best. You're rocking with the best.
Welcome to today's live show, y'all. This is the New Culture Empire and associated with the Supreme Elite Team and the Accrual Kind of Collection Agency. We are back for another live review. Fair use, fair use, fair use. all jokes aside, I'm going to review the live objective, regardless of how I personally feel. I'm going to be objective. If she's making good points, I'm going to say it. I'm going to be very objective. Shout out to the one. Always coming through.
You're rocking with the best.
And regardless of my critique, if there is something that you can benefit from the video, take it with a grain of salt. Do your further research. If you could benefit from it, go ahead. Hey, maybe something I may benefit from. I may learn something today. You never stop learning. The grind never stops. But I will pause and stop and comment on things that I may find as a contradiction. But like I said, it's just my personal opinion. Even what I say, continue to do your research on your own. But y'all should know, like with me, I kind of, before I really talk, I kind of did my third research already. I really don't like to talk and don't know what I'm talking about. It just makes for a bad teaching session. Shout out to Dan.
You're rocking with the best.
Hopefully, we can get through this whole video uninterrupted. Actually, I was going to have Cora B from the Cora B show, the one who kind of started this train. She had a 1 second, y'all. So I'm reviewing this right past the freedom. Past the freedom. Hopefully I can get Cora B on here on the panel too to review with me. Hopefully I just texted her now, so that'd be a good look. We're going to be doing a lot of more stuff in the Patreon. Yeah, I will have the Patreon up and running Monday. Exclusive videos, exclusive documents, exclusive videos from the webinars. It's all going to be in the Patreon. Now, your membership on YouTube, I will still be dropping videos there for the members only. I have another video that's popping up. I don't like to drop the videos back to back to back because I don't think that I don't want to convolute you with so much information that you're not really getting a grasp it. So I drop them, monthly so you can actually get something from it. I don't want to just drop it because the videos that I have, they're all centered around understanding. You don't get to the execution before you get to the understanding. I don't know why people still believe that execution comes before understanding. Stop taking the easy road out. Stop taking the easy way out. Stop trying to just get straight to the how do I fill this out? What do I send in? It never works it never lasts long that way. And then people get mad and y'all know how the story goes. I told y'all this is highly advanced stuff. You can't water it down. You can't make it seem like it's so easy because it is not easy. It's not even easy achieving a set off. It's not easy. None of this stuff is easy. None of it's easy. It takes a lot of time, effort, and understanding to be successful. It's not easy. It's not a 30-day process. It's not a 60-day process. It can be anywhere from 30 days to a few years. That's just the reality of it. This 30, 45-day shit, 2-week shit, that's a lie. It's a lie. It's a flat out lie. The only thing that's probably within a few weeks is your regular tax return from your W-2s. That's probably the only thing that's about 3 weeks or so. Anything outside of that is a special return, special circumstances where a lot of investigation and examination is going to take place. It's not an easy, all right, let me just come over here because I need this paid fast. It doesn't work like that. The minute people figure that out, the minute that they will recalibrate their value system and focus on something different. So without further ado, we're about to get started with Tamika. Miss Tamika from Paths to Freedom. Let's see if we can cue it up. All right. This is, let's go.
This 3-day challenge is
okay, so this is a 3-day challenge. I just said it's not a yo, I just said it's not a, so this is a 3-day, okay, 3-day challenge it is. Let's go.
Help you guys know how to process your securities, okay?
Process securities. Now, remember, she already had classes on security. See, I don't know how old this video is. So let me, they say it was posted 2 months, but she probably could have been had the class. So I can't really, I can't really gauge that. But I do know is that she actually was arrested for issuing fraudulent securities. I do know that part. And I do know that around the time she was teaching a mortgage class, she got put out by the landlord from where she was renting. So I do know that.
We have given you guys the laws. We told y'all where to find them, what you're basing this off of. And so
knowing the laws means nothing. Knowing the law, that's the bare minimum of what you need to know. That's bare minimum. That has, you can know the laws from here to kingdom come. It don't mean shit if you don't understand their world and how to maneuver through it. That's the biggest hurdle.
So now we're going to show you how to execute. You guys have been asking for a step-by-step.
That's the number one problem right there. People just want the step-by-step. Once you have understanding, you will know how to do your own step-by-step. You see what I'm saying? Once you have understanding, the step-by-step, that's your process. You do it how you do it. I give people in my group the foundation all day, and they take the foundation and they take off and they get their results. So if you want a step-by-step instead of understanding, your mindset in this, it's already off. And this is why a lot of people always run back to me, oh, I got scammed. I wasn't happy. It didn't work. No, it's not that it didn't work. You didn't work.
Some people get it, some people don't, because I do understand that people learn differently. Okay, so what we're going to show you is exactly how we do it, right? If it was my security or whatever, what we do, okay? Because every step makes a difference in order for you to be able to get the proper remedy and what it is that you're looking for.
There go that remedy. Everybody's always talking about a goddamn remedy. It's just business. Stop looking at a remedy like you're trying to, like you've been, like you're the perpetual victim. Like some wrong needs to be right.
Okay. If you have car contracts or etc., pour one out. Because the first thing that you have to do before you attempt to do anything is read the contract.
With Monday.com's intuitive work management platform, you have the power, not IT, not admin.
Right?
So let me just say this before we get started, because she's going to deep dive into the contract. What does it matter you understanding the contract is if your obligation is not even to the contract. See, most people that will argue, no, yes, it is. They don't have the understanding of how this shit really goes. What does it matter to fully understand the contract if the contract It's not the actual debt in which you're liable on. They're focused on the contract when you're not even liable to the contract after you sign it. See, that right there shifts this whole class on its head already. You're not liable to what's on the contract. But since you want to deep dive in the contract, we'll just break it down. Let's go.
Not just read the contract, but understand the contract, because it do get a little tricky in there. But if you don't read it, then how would you know? Based off of me doing consultations is ultimately why I decided to do this way, because the questions are redundant, right? They're asking, you guys are asking the same exact thing. So
you notice how it's always a class that they have because everybody just so wants it. You know what I'm saying? Like they're, please hold the class. Like I don't really want to do it, but since y'all keep asking, I'll do it. Like, it's another money grab. Shut up. Just say it. It's a money grab.
So let me inform you guys. It doesn't matter if it's a car contract, if it's a cellular, a wireless contract, if it's a mortgage got a little bit more to it.
Don't even talk about mortgages, Tamika. You don't talk about mortgage contract. You are not qualified to teach a class on a mortgage contract. You done sent so many people up Shit's Creek. I'm just saying, stay with the don't talk about mortgages. That's a totally different ball game. And you have not done enough research to keep mortgages out of it.
But it's all the same. It's not about what type of contract it is. It's about the fact that if it's a security. If there's an amount on there that says that something is due, that is considered a security.
Wrong. Now, if I was teaching a class, I would have pulled up exactly black and white what I just said. Because that's a big point she just tried to make. Just because that amount says it's due, it's a security. That's not true. Because it's only a security if it classifies for a financial asset as a financial asset under the accounting regulations. So, like if I pulled up my delinquent debts and sold them to a debt collection company, it's not a financial asset. It's not a security that they purchase. In that context. See, accounting, it has totally a lot of different contexts. So just because it's an obligation doesn't mean that's necessarily a security. But this is the part where she was supposed to expound on it. But of course, as you'll see, and they never do.
Okay, and they are all done the same exact way, regardless.
No, they're not.
Regardless to what it is. Okay. So the first thing that you have to do is identify the fraud and know it. Because as you guys see, some people don't have no issue. They send it, it's taken care of, and then other people are having issues.
There we go right there. These phantom victories. At that time, she was supposed to share her screen with a letter from the finance company saying you don't owe anymore, or the credit card company or whatever saying you don't owe anymore. See, it's that part right there where they just get away with all these fucking victories. Nobody sees it. Oh, some people have no issues by that. Show the people that had no issues. Show the letter from the finance company. They never produced them because they never happened.
And they don't know what to do after. They don't know how to stand on it. You're going to always need to know how to stand on what it is that you're doing. Okay. And the first thing is by.
And everybody that took this class, I guarantee you, when it came time for the next one, they've already been blocked.
Dissecting your contract, understanding what the contract means, understanding what you gave away. Because if you come in and get your rights back, You can't get back what you don't know was taken, right? Because ultimately, as you guys all know, that we gave them permission with our signature to keep our securities, keep all of our insurance payments. And then we had the nerve to tell them that we were going to pay them back the money that they actually owe the Treasury from them getting the discounted par rate that they got when you first signed your security over to them. Okay.
Once again, this is the part where she's supposed to pull out the IRS regulation. The money they owe the Treasury for a discount. I know what she's trying to say, but she don't really know what she's saying. Where's the IRS regulation? Because we actually went over this in my Supreme Elite Team class like 2 days ago, exactly how they owe the Treasury. But it's not in what she's saying, though. But once again, she's supposed to pull out the IRS regulations to match up what she's saying.
The discounted par rate that they got when you first signed your security over to them. Okay. I'm gonna pull a contract.
Yes, and you'll see this throughout the whole thing. I'm going to let it run for a while because really it's just it really was just no actual fully understanding and teaching. There's no switching from the accounting to the securities to the trust to the IRS law, so you can get all these different elements and create a regular picture. And then one of the things that they rarely ever do, they never start the class off with results. You notice that, right? She never started off with results. So all this is just another form of speculation, theory, try this way. Nothing she has said at this point is concrete proof, or she have shown concrete proof to back up what she's saying. It's just talk.
And we're going to go over. So the purpose of me doing this is one, so that you can know. And two, if you got a contract, hopefully you do the same thing. Each day, we're going to go over every step. So when we're done in 3 days, y'all gonna be ready to melt off. That's why it's called the challenge. There should be no questions. We gonna show y'all how to find a trustee, the different ways to find them easy, so that come was 3 days. Friday, come the weekend, y'all got y'all stuff signed, sealed, and ready to be delivered. Okay, so we're gonna walk y'all. This is exactly what me and Caleb do. The first thing we do is we dissect the contract. We're looking for certain terms. If you are going to claim it's securities fraud, you better be able to back that up. And I'm serious. You want to be able to back it up. Okay. So give me 1 second. What is it?
Actually, it's still going on, y'all. Let me see.
The seller. You guys been with me for a minute, you already got that. I'm not gonna pull it up because we already told y'all. So that's 16 CFR 433.1. Because you got to have your tools that you're going to stand on, and you definitely want to get it out of there because it tells you that only a contract is in between.
So this says for presentation to the United States Treasury for redemption or an exchange for securities of a new issue in accordance with written instructions submitted by. Do you know where she pulled that regulation from? Do you know what that deals with? You know what that deals with? That deals with the Bureau of Fiscal Service. When you send a security in, a treasury security that you're trying to cash in to get liquidated or exchange it for another security, that's what you put on those securities, not a car contract. It has nothing to do with and let me see. If I have time, I will pull that up. It has nothing to do with an auto contract. It has to do with actual treasury securities that you actually purchased. Told you, man. Shit too easy.
Between a seller creditor and a finance company, not the buyer. Okay. And when we get into the Trust Indenture Act with you guys, you will see why a seller creditor, which is always the dealership, and the finance company are the only two that can enter into a contract with each other. Okay. As you guys can even see here, where it says for the presentation to the United States for redemption or exchange for securities of a new issue in accordance with the written instructions submitted by. So for everybody that's asking us, it's words there, where are we supposed to put it? If you would look at 31 CFR 328.7, it tells you that the words can be covered.
If you have a 700 plus credit score, you qualify for Chase's new program where you could access up to $150,000 of capital for free at 0%.
If you notice, we do it diagonally so that we will not cover up all of the words, but we're not covering up anything that's important.
What is that a variation of? I told you, same process, different name. That ain't nothing but a variation of the acceptance for value. That's all it is. Ain't nothing but a variation of the acceptance for value. Diagonally, put it across, don't cover up the name, 95-degree angle, get a ruler, get a stencil, measure it. It's all the same. You cannot put that verbiage on these things because it only applies to actual treasury securities that you purchased.
Okay, so you guys is asking how do you stamp it, that is how you're going to stamp it. Okay, but during this 3-day process, there is some additional stamps that you guys are going to have to use besides this one right here. And I will go over that when we go over the stamping up. Okay. By signing this contract, you choose to buy a vehicle.
See, what right there. See, the federal truth and lender disclosures, I want to see if she really breaks that down, what it means from an accounting standpoint, and then use the accountant to validate all this, and then use the IRS regulations to validate all this, and then use their own agreements and their filings, what they filed to validate all this, and then use the IRS tax forms to implement and line it all up based on what I want to see if she does that. I want to see if she does that.
On credits under the agreements and agree to.
I told y'all, remember when they just start reading it off, they really don't know what they're doing. They're just trying to sound like they know what they're talking about instead of just getting into the substance it really means to get into it from the accounting and trust. You know, when they start just reading off the contract, then trying to interpret it, they don't know what the fuck they're really doing. Because if she actually knew what she was doing, she would realize that what's represented here is not how it's being accounted, it's not how it's being reported, and it's not the substance. This is the form of the transaction. The IRS deals with the substance. So if she really knew what she was doing, she'll be teaching from the substance, lining all this up on the back end, what's really going on. But no, she's going to stick and try to read this and try to, oh yeah, see this what it means. See, y'all, it's all a scam. It's all a scam. When they start reading from the contract like that, it just only time you should be reading like a little sentence to prove what you're proving on the back end of the substance. This right here, it's just stalling. It's just stalling. That's all it is.
To pay the seller, right? So pay the seller. So if it says that you agreed to pay the seller, where did the bank come in at? Because if you guys notice on your contracts, you don't see the bank name anywhere when you first signed the contract, because you're not, okay? So when it tells you that you agree to pay the seller, right? Which is the dealership. What did you pay them?
If you don't see the bank's name on the contract, maybe because you're not going through the bank. The fuck the bank's name to be down there for? Because she doesn't understand the underlying process on how these things are packaged up and sold. What the fuck is the bank's role in this? Does she even know what the bank's role in this? If she said the bank's name's not on the contract, she's supposed to have been telling them what's the bank's role. Or better yet, she should have produced the audit and broke down what the audit means. But that would be too much like giving the people the proper understanding that they need. Nah, it's too much like right.
This note right here is what you paid them. Okay.
So she's saying that note right there is what they paid them. So they was paid with that, with the note. Okay.
Of course, it's going to say the year, to make, the model, the VIN number. This box.
Y'all see what I'm saying? You know, they can see that. So I told you, she don't know what she's talking about. She got all the people in there. She's making up as she go. Oh, you see the year? They know that. Get to it. I told you, stalling, making it up as she go, live, making it up as she go. That's what they do. Oh yeah, see the ID, yeah, 4S. And by the time she finished reading all this, 45 minutes done passed. Is it stalling?
Box right here is very important. It's on every contract. Primary use for which is purchase. Personal, family, or household.
That doesn't matter to jack shit. It don't matter. Stalling. None of that shit matters.
Unless otherwise indicated below. Well, you see, it ain't under business. It ain't under agriculture. It's NA, which means it was for primary, family, household use. Right?
Duh. What point? Okay, what are you trying to prove with that? Duh. Told you. Just stalling.
Because that's the definition of a consumer. As long as it's for personal, family, and household use, it falls up under the consumer rights and the consumer.
So I have a contract right here. Okay, so you say that. Okay, let's test that theory. Have a contract right here that's in the business name. Have a contract right here, auto contract that's in the business name. So they're not a consumer since they're a business. I got a contract right here that's in a business name. So they're not a contract, they're not a consumer. See, wasting time. If I was in the class, I'd be like, yo, can you get to it? Like it's not connecting already. It's not connecting. None of what she's saying is connected. Just stalling, just rambling on, making it seem like just stalling. Nobody, she didn't even go over what that really meant. She didn't even pull out the regulations for that. She probably said so. Why didn't she show that on the screen to break that down for a second? Because people need to understand what they're putting these verbiages on it. They need to have a clear understanding of what they're doing and why and how it ties into the outcomes they're looking for. See how she glossed over that? Talking about this is important. Nah, that right there. Break all that down right there. Notice how they just gloss over it and just say put it on there. And yes, she got paid up front before this.
Laws under TILA and etc. Okay. Then it goes into the truth in lending disclosures. So if you notice, this box right here is dark bold print. Because
who gives a fuck about its font size? Oh my God. Yo, dog, yo, stalling. See, the angles on the corner, you see how they're, see, the reason why it's separated by a few centimeters, because if it was an inch, then it means that the obligation was set off. That's the astronomical way of telling you. But the boxes right here is only a few centimeters. So that is indicating that you still got to pay.
Because they're trying to say that they gave you all of your truth and lending disclosures and they gave it to you right here. Okay. The only thing that
remember I told you about the truth and lending disclosure in the Supreme Elite team the other day, y'all? Remember I told y'all how I broke that down? Remember how I broke that down, the truth and lending disclosures? Remember how I broke it down? Let's see if she breaks it down. Let's see.
she should have been paid on here is just the finance charge, because if you've been with me for a minute, you know that it is only the interest that they are supposed to receive, right? That's their payment, is just the interest. Technically, they get the interest, and it's $26,817.44. And this contract was supposed to go to the buyer, right? Which is Caleb. This is what he should have got. They got this. Why? Because the seller creditor is a middleman. They are a broker. They broker the deal for you. So of course, every man is worth their hire. They were supposed to get paid. The only thing they were supposed to get paid was this $6,000 right here. Okay? Because all contracts can be sold to a third party.
All wrong. All wrong. All wrong. All wrong. First of all, I want to be careful about my words, man. But the finance charge, does she actually know where that stemmed from an accounting standpoint? She said they're only supposed to get this and they buyer's supposed to get that. And then they were only supposed to get this and that. Well, the problem is she doesn't understand how these transactions are conducted with the dealer, the pre-existing dealer advance agreement with these corporations. See, she doesn't understand how that's broken down. She doesn't understand the $5,000 down payment. That's part of the dealer's compensation. So why didn't she say, and she probably say it later, why didn't she say, hey, and I'm not going to tell her exactly why, because she's going to run back to a group. Why didn't she say, hey, the dealer, why didn't she say, hey, by the way, you know that the dealer, their compensation is part of that 5,000. So they was never that, they misrepresented it, saying the finance company needed the 5,000, but yo, what's up? 1 second, y'all. What's good? Yeah, guys, crazy. Yeah, that did very. That's yeah, you did. I actually like. I'm gonna go. You send me the full video. I'm gonna go back and watch it. Yeah, just come through. I'll come through. We'll do that. Yeah. Yeah. She can come through too. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, hell yeah. Bring about them. We can break it down, put it on the big screen. That's a bet. Hell yeah, bro. Just let me know. I'm there. Just pull up. Hear me later. Just let me know what you're doing this weekend too. All right. My bad, y'all. It's my homie. These I say hold on because he ain't gonna be on the phone long. So why didn't she say part of the hold on? Why didn't she make this connection? Let's see if I can do it right quick. Let's see if I can do it right quick. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Let's see. I'm about to see if I can make this connection for y'all right quick. Let's see. I'm about to show y'all exactly what I'm talking about, y'all. Let's see. Play, motherfucker. Track. So you all just kind of mainly were just the middleman to broker the deal instead of really being a lender in the traditional sense, like credit acceptors went into their own back pocket and put up the money. You kind of more brokered the transaction with your credit facilities and financing capabilities and resources. Is that more of an accurate statement?
Yes.
Well, I'll be damned. That I understand the internal, these SEC instructors charge 15 to 20 grand for a 4-week course just for you to know the same thing that I know in my contract. So you all just kind of mainly were just the middleman to broker the deal instead of really being. It's not the one. Hold on, y'all. That's not the one. It's not the one. That's not the one. 1 second. I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna show y'all exactly what I'm talking about. Just hang by. But that's still, yeah. Let me show y'all exactly what I'm talking about. It should be this right here coming up. Let's see. Videos. Where's the video at? Oh. Let's see. Where is the... I'm trying to show y'all the one with credit acceptance. I'm about to show y'all right quick. Make the liability better than the truth. Premier League team had a new culture. Where is the show? All right, so it's on here somewhere. I'm trying to, oh, that's why. I'm sorry. I got to go back. So let me show y'all what I'm talking about. I'm about to show y'all exactly what I'm talking about. Hold on. I'm going to cue it up for y'all. I'm going to cue the video up for y'all. Don't trip. We are here. We are in the build. I just want to show y'all something exclusively from credit acceptance. Here we go. Dan's been here the whole time. Oh. Hold on. I gotta share my screen. I have a question regarding they never admitted that they said the down payment goes to credit acceptance. They forgot they was recorded at the time. Credit acceptance. All right, so here we go. So when Tamika was teaching her class, why didn't she teach to her class that the down payment was part of their compensation under their pre-existing agreement, although they represented to us like the finance company asked for the down payment when the finance company has nothing to do with the down payment. They never get the down payment. Why didn't she bring that up in the class? I think a lot of people would have wanted to hear about that. In the beginning, then when I called them back, they never admitted that they said the down payment goes to credit acceptance. They forgot they was recorded at the time. And second, that credit acceptance in their own words, in their own filings with the SEC, it says that the dealership receives the down payment as part of payment for the vehicle. So if I needed to pay $2,700 to amortize the contract to, finalize the deal, and it was disclosed to me, and I have a recording of it, that the money's going directly to credit acceptance. But then come to find out, credit acceptance never got that $2,700. The money also went to the dealership as part of the payment for the vehicle. So my question with credit acceptance is, how does that $2,700 and back up with the dealership when it was presented to me that the 2,700 was going to you all to cover the deal. I already know the answer to the question I'm asking. I already did the research. Everything that part of this 30-minute phone call, I know everything. I know the answer. I just want to see what she's going to say. I already know the answer to the question because part of litigation, which translates over into my documents with them, you never ask a question or never ask for documents that you don't already have, don't already seen it, or you know they can't produce it. You never ask. It's like a lawyer. You never ask a question that you don't already know the answer to. Or just like in the OJ case, you never have him try on the gloves unless you know he's going to be able to fit it. This is a tactic that every good trial lawyer uses. They ask questions that they already know the answer to, and the person that's being cross-examined or on the stand, they know the answer as well. And you ask the question which you already gave the answer. We already gave the answer to the question because that's what I did. I already gave her the answer to the question. So we asked them just to see if they're going to be honest. And when you put them in a situation like this, they have no choice but to tell the truth. All these people fighting back and forth on TikTok on the phone with these people. I call these people. I get everything I want. I get every answer to I want, even for the mortgage, how it's sold, how they sell it. I get it right. It's on my channel. It's on my channel. Go through my videos. Navy Federal Credit Acceptance. I get all the, and I don't even have to fight. I just let them talk. And as you will see, or hear rather, that she has no choice but to tell the truth. Shall we proceed?
So what you said it is correct. So
y'all hear that? You hear that? So what you said is correct because I already know. I already know the answer to it. She knows I know. But to tell the truth. Watch it. Shall we proceed?
So what you said it is correct. So the down payment actually goes to the dealership to help qualify you to get the loan. We don't collect it, the dealership does, but it is a part of your loan. So we don't get the down payment.
Say no more. Y'all heard that? We don't get the down payment. It's part of the loan. See, it's part of the loan. So you're going to end up paying that back as well. It's part of your loan. It's part of the loan. We don't get it. The dealership gets it. And she goes into a tangent like, yeah, we never get it. They always get it. So, Tamika, why didn't you bring that up?
Caleb, this is what he should have got. They got this. Why? Because the seller creditor is a middleman. They are a broker. They broker the deal for you. So, of course, every man is worth their hire. They were supposed.
But you notice how she's saying that they brokered the deal for him, Subaru. And notice how I was talking about the finance company brokered the deal for them. See, I was talking to Credit Accepted Finance Company, and I said they brokered the deal, not the dealership. Because the dealership don't broker no deals. They just sell it. The fuck keep calling me? They don't keep trying to call me. They don't never broker the deal. The dealership never brokers the deal. See, she's thinking, look, she just said it. They brokered the deal. That's the problem. She doesn't understand. She don't even understand the contract she's trying to teach because she's already wrong. See, once you look at it from a standpoint that the dealership is not brokering the deal and the finance company's brokering the deal, now she got to understand who they're breaking the deal with. See, now she got to know behind the scenes now. See, now she got to know what goes on after you close. And she don't study. She ain't study that far. That's why she has to say the dealership brokered the deal when the dealership ain't broker no deal. Notice in that video you just heard, the first one, when I was like, nah, that's not the one. Notice I say, y'all brokered the deal, the finance company. See, she can't explain it from the standpoint where the finance company, and you know I'm correct because the lady that works for the finance company said that is correct. We do broker the deal. So if finance company is brokering the deal, that opens up a whole different understanding that you need to know. And it's not the dealership that's brokering the deal. I found already 5 errors. Let's keep going though.
Supposed to get paid. The only thing they were supposed to get paid was this $6,000 right here.
No, the 5,000 too. That's part of their compensation. See, if you understand the programs in which people buy vehicles, it's 2 programs. So you're supposed to be able to break down each program and tell the difference, differentiate the interest price, the interest rates on each program. So this car was purchased under a program. Is she going to bring up the program which that car was purchased under? Because the seller, creditor, the dealership, the broker, that's not true. It's not even accounted for like that. They only have legal title to the vehicle only for a moment. So they're not brokering nothing. So you may think they're brokering it, but they're not. See, that's where the understanding comes in at.
Okay. Because all contracts can be sold to a third party, which means they're going to make money off of this contract. So the only thing they're supposed to get from him would be the interest within itself.
What about the 5,000? What about the 5,000? She ain't say nothing about that down payment because she didn't know. And that's big. That's big no going in. When the dealership, all right, they need 5,000. Oh, they don't need 5,000 because here's why. I already pulled it up. Look, here's why. They don't need 5,000. Nope. You about to tell me the finance company needs 5,000? No, they don't. See, the way I teach, you can go and apply it in the real world in your real lives. Not this crap.
Okay.
And stop saying, okay, because you ain't making sense. Stop saying, okay.
And of course, it goes down to your payments and etc. because they have to give you the truth and lending.
No, don't get down to the payments now. Break down what that means. Break down what the payments mean. How can you break down this annual percentage rate, which brought this up to the 6,186, and divide that, and how did they come up with that calculation? What's the original issue discount in this right here? What's the OID for this right here? And what's the yearly OID for this one? What's the calculations for? I did that live in my OID class with the finance charge. I broke it down right on the calculator, or with the yearly, with the monthly OID, and how they figured the interest. Is she going to break it down like that?
Disclosures. So they put that amount on there. That's what that's for. But let's go down.
You see, just glosses over it. There's no connection being made. Where's the connection at? Oh, they did that. They got to do this, do the Truth in Lending. No. What about the other Truth in Lending Act? What Truth in Lending Act they have to disclose? Oh, you talking about just this? There's more that has to be disclosed. Why don't you go over that? Why aren't you letting them know that if they're using a third-party creditor, they got to list the creditor's name? That's big to understand for the You see how she just glossed? You see, this is all accounting. Tamika doesn't know accounting. That's why she's glossing over it. If I was teaching that class, this segment right here, the Truth in Federal Truth in Lending Disclosures, this, I would have broke it down to the penny why they owe, who's getting their money when you make your payment, who's actually getting it, who's getting the down payment, and the calculations, how they come up for it. And it'll told over to our OIDs when we do our yearly OIDs for the calculation on it. Let's see. Well, you already know she ain't doing it because she's scrolling down. Told you. And any holder of this consumer credit contract, I guarantee you, she's about to misinterpret that and misrepresent it. I already know that's about to come. So, guys, get to these goals. Get to these goals. Get to these goals.
About late charges. Now, If you actually pulled up 16 CFR 433.3, you are going to find this exact verbiage that's in bold.
Oh, she don't know what the connection is. Oh, she's talking about that verbiage on 16 CFR. She don't know what the connection is to your claim. Oh, she ain't say it. Oh, she don't know what the real connection is. Oh my gosh. She don't know what the real connection is. Oh God.
The holder of this consumer credit contract is subject to all claims and defenses which the debtor could assert against the seller of goods or services. It is telling you that you as the consumer has the right to bring a claim against anybody that's holding this contract, not just the finance company.
You know what that is? Is when you're reading it and you really don't understand what you're reading, so you're just going to pick apart what it. All she's doing is just repeating what she read to them. They can read that themselves. Break it down. Get into the meat and potatoes of what it really means, and then bring up other statutes that makes the connection that ties into your claim. Because obviously it's only the amounts that you actually paid. So you're supposed to be breaking down, why is it only limited to the amount that is actually paid, that you actually paid out of pocket? Once you break it down as to why it's limited to that, and then you're supposed to give them the answer as to why it's limited to that, because now you're supposed to jump into the accounting. And when you break the connection from that to that, it's going to tie in back to your overall set off. See, her set off class of this, it's right in here. She has a good opportunity to break it down why you're legally entitled to a set off, because this verbiage actually confirms some things. But let's see if she makes the connection from an accounting standpoint.
You have the dealership, because they're technically the broker.
Stuttering, don't even know. Now she about to go back to the dealership. Technically they're the broker. That's been debunked. Y'all just heard the call. The finance company is the broker. See, she don't even know what she can't even break it down. She can't even break it down. She can't. Because technically, the dealer's the broker. No, break it down what that means. That notice part. Break it all the way down so they can have to make the connection. Break it down. Why? What it means. Why it says that. Tie the accounting into it, because that's going to make your overall point. Give them something they can get inspired by. Nobody's inspired by this. All you're doing is just rereading the contract back to them.
It is telling you that you as the consumer has the right to bring a claim against anybody that's holding this contract. Now
they know that. They can read that. Keep going. Explain it.
Not just the finance company. You have the dealership, because they're technically the broker. So if you're doing an arbitration claim and you're doing it up under FINRA, it's for brokers.
They want you to go arbitration. Why would you step into an arena where they want you to go? You're supposed to backdoor them in the civil court because your claim is not on the contract. That's not where your claim lies, because you're not obligated under that contract anymore. You're obligated on something else. So why are you still trying to make a claim to the contract? See, that's the difference between a professional like teaching setting and amateurs. This is amateur hour.
To make sure that the dealership is added to that claim, because FINRA is for brokers. The broker was the dealership. Okay, you got private brokers, and then you have the public brokers, which are the ones that's at the dealership. Okay. You also see where it says that this notice that you can bring any claims and defenses only applies to goods or services obtained primarily for personal, family, and household use. We've already discussed that per their contract, that is for personal, family, or household use. Okay, because these are all defenses that you will put into your claim when you're going after them. You use their contract against them. Okay. In any other cases, buyer will not assert against any subsequent holder or assignee of the contract. Any claims or defenses the buyer, which it says the debtor, may have against the seller.
Y'all, what is she saying? Y'all, please tell me in the chat, what is she saying? She's not saying nothing. She's not saying anything that they would probably conclude their own selves by reading. She's not breaking it down from an accounting standpoint. She's not explaining, no, you don't go in arbitration because your claim is no longer on the contract anymore. You don't owe under the contract anymore after you sign. Because you have to understand accounting, advanced accounting. Not because I'm saying it advanced to my own horn. A college professor looked over my documents and said it. Yeah, this is highly advanced accounting. That's not what I'm telling you, people. Y'all know who's in the class. I heard it. Y'all seen it. Y'all heard it. Y'all heard the phone call. I had a student that goes to the University of Florida and gave one of my right to set off documents relating to the auto contract and let the professor read it. He said, yeah, this is highly advanced accounting. So I'm not even expecting her to know this. But it's sad because people paid for this and they're not getting their money's worth. They're leaving in no way understanding. Thinking you could just put the verbiage on and send it off and get it set off in 3 days. This 3-day challenge. This is the part what I keep saying. I'm trying to tell you, a lot of these gurus that are out here teaching, they're not qualified. They don't consult with professionals. I consult with professionals. People have been doing this shit for 27 years, 20 years. This is sad.
If you notice right here, they say subsequent holder or assignee of this contract. We know that they sell the contract. So if they sold it to 250 companies, you can technically go after all 250 companies.
Who is, yeah, oh my God. That's not even how it works. Supreme Elite team, you said if they sold it to 250, she really thinks they're just selling the contract and getting paid and selling. She has no clue what's really going on. She has no clue. That's not how it works. All these contracts are pursuant to a pre-existing agreement. It's going to one entity. Oh my God. She is leading these. Oh my gosh. When will people learn?
Not just the finance company. Go after everybody that has traded your contract because it was ran up under.
That's that old sovereign citizen stuff that your contract's being traded on. Here, you get it here. You get it here. That's that old sovereign citizen Reddit.
Consumer credit. It was for your primary goods for personal, family, or household use. Okay.
Bring my bottle.
And it tells you here that it can go after a assignee. I've had people try to pull the dealership or other entities, the finance company, the trustee, the indentured trustee, and the dealership into arbitration. And the dealership can say, we don't have nothing to do with that. But they do, because they're assignee of this contract.
No, it's not. No, you just gave them wrong instructions. Their whole approach was wrong from the beginning. They was going down, they was doing it the wrong way from the beginning. Don't try to make it seem like it was your fault. That's why nobody won with that arbitration shit. That your whole approach was wrong. You taught them wrong. You've been teaching them wrong for years.
And they're still getting paid off of it. And because contracts can be sold to a third party, they're also constantly selling it that way as well. Okay.
Y'all hear this garbage? Supreme Elite team, y'all know how we know how it goes, how it's transferred, how it's converted. Do you really think that's how it goes? The IRS regulations don't even have nothing to fit what she's saying for the federal income tax implications on these transactions, these taxable transfers. It doesn't even go like that by law. What she's saying is purely made up on how she believes it go. There is nothing in law that will. This is why she won't show anything in law, because there's nothing in law that will actually confirm what she's saying. Why is it every time I teach, I could just show you black and white? Tamika, show some black and white now, because what you saying ain't making no sense.
And that's the same if they do any, if you have any particular protections or things like that, they are also considered a holder or assignee there as well. Okay.
This girl done gone.
If you notice on the contract here, they're saying that you agreed to arbitrate, which is on page 6. You may or we may elect to resolve dispute by neutral binding arbitration and not by court action, which means if you have been, if they have repoed you, it's illegal because there's an arbitration clause. Arbitration works in both ways for you and them. Anything that they want to do to assert their claims against you, it also has to be done via arbitration.
You see what I'm saying, y'all? She said arbitration. By her keep bringing up arbitration lets me know she has no clue on how the game goes. She has no clue. It has nothing to do with the why do you think they want you to argue arbitration on a contract in which it's not like you're not even obligated to the contract anymore? Want to know why they want you to argue arbitration on the contract? Want to know why? Because they're still going to lock you in on the receivable side. That's it. They lock you in on the receivable side. You really can't say nothing. You say you'll pay, but you're not paying. Your obligation is not to the contract. So why would you go into arbitration? They want you to keep it on the contract, but after this transaction closed, you're obligated to something else. So this allows you to bypass the contract because it's all going to be tied into what you're obligated on.
You're rocking with the best. You're rocking with the best.
See, by her saying that, she has no clue what I know she don't know the game. She don't know the game. She don't know the game. She keep talking arbitration. That's the trick. They want you to go arbitration. They want you to talk about the contract. They know you're not obligated on the contract anymore. You obligated somewhere else. This is why they're selling the receivable. See, she don't even understand receivables, how they really work, how they move to this financial world in the secondary markets. She don't understand how it works. She will not bring up the security side from a high-end standpoint in which they're really dealing in, and the accounting from a high end, because that's the only way you're going to accomplish this. It's the only way. This is elementary shit she talking.
Okay. They cannot take you to court, not unless you agree for them to take you to court. Okay.
See, what contradicts what she's saying is, because if you default, they have the right to repossess outside of arbitration. So they don't need arbitration to repossess because you're still arguing on the contract. You're still arguing on the debt from the contract. See, this is why the Supreme Elite Team group is so more advanced than all these other groups out here teaching, because we're actually speaking from what they actually do. I'm teaching from the horse's mouth. They're teaching on speculations and shit that's been passed down to them from other gurus. She was a student before. She started just like everybody else, being a student. She get the info, steal the info, and then go sell the same shit that she was once a student of without fully understanding and not knowing that people teaching her was scamming her. It's one big cycle.
Okay, so that works both ways. So then it talks about all the itemized amounts that's financed. They only put that on there because of TILA, but it cannot be itemized. So that's something else that you can use as a defense when you're going after these people.
But how can you explain it? How? You just said, oh, they can't be this or something. How? She don't even know what this means at the bottom. She don't know what none of this means. Explain how. Explain how. How? Break it down. You just, yeah, no, they can't do that. All right, you can use that. How?
Okay. Then you look at the insurance. They say you may buy the physical insurance of the contract for anyone you choose who is acceptable to you, to us, which is them. Okay. Then they have credit life, credit disability. Do you guys know what credit life and credit disability is? It's on every contract. Anybody know what it is? Most of you guys, when you do these contracts, you do not select that. But whether you select it or not, the dealership and the finance company has credit life on you. They also have credit disability on you. So what that means is when you pass away, and it could be 50 years after this contract was written, the reason why they have you put an ad in the newspaper, you know, they make you do the public notice in the newspaper when someone passed away. That is their proof legally to be able to collect on the insurance for the credit life. So now they've gotten paid again. When you're in the process of rescinding your security interest, make sure you put that you are rescinding them, the dealership, the finance company, from being the beneficiary of your credit life. That should go to your people, not to them. But you don't know that you signed it away to them. Okay. So when you guys are doing your letters, which during this 3-day process, we will show you and provide you with a reference. I don't want to call it a template. I'm gonna call it a reference sheet. So when you guys are creating your paperwork, you know to add that in there as well. So that way they're not getting paid if something happens, even when it comes to disability, because most people don't know that if you become disabled, you can get your debt discharged from that as well because you became disabled.
You see what I'm saying? Look at all that dumb bullshit. All that's bullshit.
And they already got the insurance for it. Okay. All right, and let's go. So these are the little fees that they charging. We all know about that. So let's go down and see. Oh, well, let me highlight it.
Look, she's doing this on purpose. She's using the whole fucking class to break this shit down. None of this shit means nothing. None of this shit means nothing. And no, Sean, the investors don't fund it, bro. I'm sorry. Yo, we literally read this shit from their own mouths. We know how it's being funded. The investors are not funding it. They're just investing in the receivables. They're not actually funding it. The borrower's funding it. Trust me, I can show you black and white. Get in the group and I'll show you black and white. Then the investor, they are only investing. Trust me. The issuer of the security is the one who is funding the loan, bro. Trust me. IRS regulate. We just went over it 3 days ago in class. IRS regulations too. If you got a better source than the IRS regulations, their own agreements, what they're saying out their own mouths, and mainly what the IRS says what's happening, then please let me know and I'll shut up and say I'm wrong. But I go by what the IRS deems what it is. So if the IRS is saying that, then that's what it is, because that's how it's going to be viewed.
To get remedy is very wise if you remove their security interest first.
How can you see? That's what I'm talking about. You're trying to remove a security interest when you should be setting off your security, their security interest with your security interest. You have a security interest as well. See, she doesn't know that side of it. She's just trying to remove the security. This is that debtor, borrower, consumer mindset like teaching. Remedy, get this removed. No, they got a security interest. You got a security interest. But she'll never talk about that part because she don't know.
Because they've been known even doing arbitration.
And anybody that wants to doubt, you can ask the Supreme Elite team, the members in the group. I literally went over black and white, how you get your refund, where you get your refund, how you're entitled. Black and white IRS is saying how you're entitled to a refund, not me just saying it. Black and white regulations. But it's under chapters that majority of the people would never even think applies to them.
Arbitration during court, they will try to get slick and they will try to repo you. But you have the right to remove that. The same way that they had to ask you for it, you can remove it.
which
Small business owner, let your bill pay work for your business. Pay your business bills with your credit card.
is why we have to start reading, and not only reading, but understanding. Because when it says that you give us the ability to claim benefits under this contract, and when it says that this contract may include charges for optional insurance, you see that we agreed to it.
I wouldn't give a damn if you agree to them chopping your hand off. It still doesn't take away the fact that your status as the creditor on the other side, and they have to report the liability to you. Who gives a fuck all that shit you gave to them? You get it all back as a creditor on the back end anyway. You see what I'm saying? See? It's just that simple. It's not simple, but it's simple if you've been doing this shit for years and got over 10,000 hours of research in. See, they're looking at it all from the wrong angle. What they're talking, it doesn't even hit on the main factors that the finance company would not want you to hit on. It's not going to hit. They're going to be relieved if you try to do all this, because they know that, okay, you're not really going to where our risks are being exposed at. See, I approach it from the same areas that which they deem is a risk exposure. Think about it. On the Supreme Elite team, our claims are the same things that they deem as a risk exposure. Like, yo, we need to be aware of this. This could backfire on us. Well, that backfire is our claims.
We said that they can do everything that they're doing, which is why you will not have, or you'll have a better chance of success when you do things properly and you remove the security interest. When you remove what gave them the ability to collect from you in the first place, then they have to start paying you what they owe.
Period. Okay. Let's go down. Well, this was it, wasn't it? Then it talks about, if you guys notice, they're going to put a state law in there saying that the state law do not provide for a cooling off period or cancellation period of the sale after you sign a contract. If you notice, under your UCCs for your state, because every state has one, is where they're getting this statement from. But always remember, federal trumps state. Okay? Federal trumps state.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. The 10th Amendment, separation. No, not necessarily. Depends on the situation. That's not just all cases. The feds just don't come in and state business in all cases. It's not necessarily true.
And of course, it says customer copy. So let's get into arbitration. Now they're telling you,
I'm going to skip by, because all she's going to really do is just read the arbitration. She spent the whole class reading that contract and ain't say a goddamn thing. And I knew she was going to do this because she doesn't have the depth to go into other things, pull up her screens, talk about this, apply this back to the contract. Her only thing is the contract. She has no clue that once that borrower signs that contract, they are no longer obligated under that contract. See, them no longer being obligated under that contract kills her whole class, because now she would have to know what they're really obligated on and then attach their claim to that. That's the only way you win, is through that door. This door, you don't win. But the people that took this class are going to find out, and this looks like an older class, because her and Caleb have fallen out since then. And I've noticed that it's coming back to me now. A lot of people that took this class came back very disappointed because none of this shit she's talking about works. Now I understand where this class stemmed from. It was the auto arbitration class. I remember they was talking about it. And core people came back from this class, and she the ones that know, totally disappointed. All of them said none of that shit worked she was talking about. So this is kind of an older class. It came back to me now. I just heard Caleb's voice. I'm like, oh shit, this was the class they was talking about. And she still posted it on YouTube, got 50,000 views, and only thing she cares about is monetizing. She don't give a shit what information she put out as long as it makes money. And she has a hell of a following. So people are still going to click on it. People are still going to take actions. And then they're going to end up blocked. And then they're going to come back to people like me talking about save me. And then I'm going to say, no, go back to her first. And if she doesn't help you, then I'll help you. But 10,000 a clip. Yeah. People that come from her looking, oh, help me, 10,000. Because guess what? That's the only reason I'm gonna be like, all right. And I throw 10,000 out there hoping you say no.
One, you're dealing with equity and law, not statute, because there is a difference. So if you just by chance,
you see what I'm saying? All this right here is not saying nothing. She's just wasting time. She's just wasting time. None of this means.
Are you looking to start your own business? Well, look no further than busy.com. Right now, we'll complete your LLC.
None of that.
Am I right, Caleb?
None of that shit means nothing what she's saying. Caleb don't know what the fuck he talking about either. None of this shit. Like they would have hated if I was in that class. Because I'm like, yo, there's nothing that you told me that I could use. You just said, throw this sign on there, broke down, said something about this, and just reread the contract back to us and called it the class. But people are so invested and so desperate to get their vehicle back that was repossessed, are so desperate and coming from a state of victimhood, like they did something to me. And even their approach of going to get their vehicle back is still going to be wrong. It's going to lead to nothing. Now they're going to be more frustrated. See, the problem with them is they should be focused on recoupment, not trying to, like everything she said in this video, nobody is going to win off it.
Sure do. That's how I found the trustee.
Because
I can find the trustee in 2 minutes just looking on the SEC website. You send something to the trustee, you're never going to get a response. Want to know why? Because they didn't even read deep into their 400-page agreements. See, they'll talk about the 8K and 10K filings, but they'll never ever read them in entirety. Those are 300, 400-page long. I've read them. I've read a few of them, page by page. And if they was to actually read them, they would have never offered that as a service of drafting stuff to the indentured trustee, because the indentured trustee is under no obligation to release anybody from their contract. Their sole loyalty remains with the certificate and note holders. That's it. So she would have really known what she was talking about. She would have known that you could send a fucking whatever to the indentured trustee. They was never going to respond because they're under no duty or obligation to respond. They never do respond. They never will respond. Per their own mouths.
they literally give it to you at the bottom of the paper, right? They give it to you at the bottom of the paper.
She did not go over any regulation. She didn't pull up no screen. She didn't pull up anything. She didn't pull up anything that's going to make the connection. She stayed right there on the contract because she doesn't know anything else. For the trained eye, Tamika, but a person who understands what's going on, and when they watch Tamika's videos, she's only exposing her ignorance even more every time she has a class. Like she literally is exposing her inadequacies in this stuff. She is in no position to be teaching. She is in no position to be teaching at all. That's why it's all a money grab for her.
Who the trustee is. Who the bank
Yeah, because
is.
the finance was not who the bank was that they assigned it to. They did it, they made it so easy. Like if your finance company is separate from the bank is their own trustee. So don't get that confused.
He's wrong again. That's what I'm saying. Caleb, they don't know the game. They're wrong. They're wrong. They're wrong. They're wrong. That's not how it goes. That's not how it goes. I done read this shit black. That's not how it goes. They're just making shit up. It's not how it goes.
And we're going to
But it's
switch
right there.
up. And we're going to switch up the way you guys are sending your contracts in. Because they are giving you guys issues when you say to put it in your Treasury Direct account.
Oh, no. They are giving you issues when you say put in your check. No, because it never worked like that from the beginning, Tamika. Stop trying to make it seem like they're just trying to prevent you from your remedy. You told them wrong shit. And I told people, you putting what in the Treasury Direct account? You asking for trouble. And it end up happening. Now you want to switch up saying, oh, they're giving you issues. No, you told them wrong from the beginning because that was that sovereign citizen shit you was pumping to them. It never worked from the beginning. Talking about giving you issues. It never worked. Don't try to butter it up now. You ain't know what the fuck you was talking about. You were just reselling shit that you got. You don't know what the fuck you talking about. Any real teacher would have never told them to try to put a contract in the Treasury Direct account. You really think there's a Treasury Direct account established for you just because you got a Social Security and a birth certificate? Do you really think that's true? Treasury Direct accounts has to be self-funded, either through payroll checks or you actually purchasing them from your own account. See, the reason why a lot of people don't like that, because anything that cause the use of money, see, they do processes so they don't have to use their money, but they don't really have no clear understanding of where the funds are going to come from to pay for the goods and services they want. See, they think they can tender worthless instruments, use a secret, non-existent treasury account, or funnel or leverage or convert contracts into assets with a Treasury Direct account solely just by sending it in and saying, credit my Treasury Direct account, thinking that a Treasury Direct account is established for everyone for the sole purpose of them having a Social Security card and a birth certificate. And then the sovereigns like to throw in this minor account, major account, hook the minor to the major. Okay. How's that worked out for the past 15 years? Because everyone I challenged that argued me down, saying theirs is about to go through, I said, come back when it goes through. And they said they'll be back because they wouldn't have loved it more to just rub it in my face that I was wrong. They ain't been back in 3 years. They ain't been back yet. And I predicted, and I told them this is what they're going to do. I said, you're going to leave. You're going to find out and get a rejection letter, and then you're not going to come back. And everyone, I could count like dozens who said I was wrong, that the Treasury Direct account was real. None of them has ever came back. Because I know human psychology and human nature. If I was really wrong and that shit worked, they'd have loved more to pop up on my live and tell me I was wrong.
This, that, and the third, right? So what you'll do with your very first contract, of course, you will put your stamp here.
But the question remains, break it down. Show the authority for they're allowed to put that stamp on your auto contract. Where? Because at this stage, and I'm where? Break it down more. Why are you just telling people put a stamp? They don't even understand what that verbiage. They don't know what that shit means. Break it down, what it really means. Because she can't. Nor does she care.
To change for securities of new issue. Or as an additional stamp, which I'll show you guys when we get to that part as well. It still came out of 328.6, but it's taking them longer to exchange it.
1 second, y'all. This is another thing where these old sovereign citizen, these old sovereign citizens. That's what I'm saying. She talking about this. This has nothing to do with our shit. It has to do with U.S. bearer securities that's been issued by the Bureau of Fiscal Service. The endorsement must be printed left-hand portion of each. You know what? Let's see if we can get to the definitions. Because these people are crazy. Can I get to the definitions? Look, well, regulated, govern 5% treasury certificates of indebtedness. Regulations govern United States individual retirement bonds, United Retirement Savings Bonds, depository compensation securities, United States Savings Bonds, Series EE, United States Savers Bonds, HH, United States Savers Bonds, Series EE and HH. They're only talking about the securities that are actually issued by the Bureau of Fiscal Service, not your contract. So you can't even put that verbiage on there. They act like I don't research. No. I told you, this has nothing to do with the shit they talking about. She don't know. She just got that fucking verbiage. That's another variation of the sovereign citizen movement that's been floating around. That's all it is. What she say? That's all it is. None of this has anything. 320. None of this has anything to do with what she's talking about. Look, definitions. No, securities that are payable on their face to bearer. The ownership of which is not recorded. They include treasury bonds, treasury notes, treasury certificates of indebtedness, and treasury bills. That's it. And they're talking about the banks because you can buy treasury securities from the banks. That's what they're talking about. They only talk about the securities that are issued directly by the Bureau of Fiscal Service or the Federal Reserve banks. That particular bank that issues treasury securities, not your fucking auto contract. That's why none of that shit worked. That's why this is an old class anyway. None of that shit worked. This is what she's talking about. Words United States Treasury should be used in lieu of Federal Reserve Bank, fiscal agent United States. This is what she's talking about. Unmatured coupons. Look, unmatured coupons attached to restrictively endorsed securities should be canceled by printing the prescribed endorsement. So it's the coupons that come with the securities, and sometimes they'll get the securities, the banks strip the securities and sell the coupons as strips, U.S. Treasury strips. They're only talking about the securities issued by the federal government, not your auto contract. Look, this to regulate. This is why she ain't bring it up. This is why she ain't bring it up. Look. Because they ain't talking about the contract. Look, she thinks a bearer security. Oh, it's a security because it's an obligation. So it's a security. They was never talking about that. They wasn't talking about what you think a security is. This is, this is Bureau of the Fiscal Service. They only deal with the treasury securities that's issued by the government. Government bonds, savings bonds, treasury. That's what this is governed under this regulation. See how they try to throw their interpretation on it? See, this is why she ain't pull it up. If she would have read this shit, she'd have realized, hold on, this shit don't, hold on, I'm gonna be looking crazy. Coupons, the securities attached to the coupon. Now, let me ask you a question. Does this look like a security with a coupon attached to it? That's what I'm saying. That's why she didn't actually pull up the regulation. Come on, man.
For securities of a new issue, because they're doing everything with paper, right? We have went over the Electronic Funds Transfer Act several times. So if you read 328.5, there's another part in there that says to transfer this over to electronic securities. That's what you want. Okay. But on the back of this contract, which we know the back is blank, that's why they
Get to these goals. Get to these goals.
give you page by page, right? On the back of this contract, or even at the bottom, up in this area, you're gonna get a stamp that says without recourse, pay to the order. You're
Yeah, go ahead. Good luck with that. They tried that shit 15 years ago. Good luck with that. Ron T, I didn't tell the class secrets. Bro, do you know how deep layered this shit is? You know how deep layered this shit is? Bro, the average person, this shit will be flying over top of their head. I can spill the class secrets. I can spill the class secrets just by saying all the legal terms they use. Most people still wouldn't understand what the fuck I'm talking about. I could be having a conversation that applies to them every day. They would have no clue what I'm talking about. All I gotta do is use their words.
all right. There you go. JP Morgan name right there. Okay. Which I'll show y'all an example of that. When
She's saying put JP Morgan in. Oh, they just making shit up. Yo, she is making it up.
we get to the stamp part. How you're going to stamp it and you're going
Would that, they're not the trustee. Would that,
Hold on. This shit.
hey,
hello, darling.
thank you for doing this. This is such a blessing and
No
blessing
problem.
to you. And
They always say it's a blessing. They always say it's a blessing. See, they think JP Morgan, it stops with JP Morgan. So they think that just because JP Morgan was signed a bank, see, they still think JP Morgan, they don't even understand. But Ron T, I ain't gonna even say, leave it right there. JP Morgan is about this big in the transaction because they don't really understand what's going on. Come on, man. We do this shit every day in class.
and Caleb. So I did have a question. So like mine at the bottom, I thought I got it from Mercedes-Benz because it was Mercedes. I thought I was buying it, but after I'm reading the contract as we're going through this, so mine says Mercedes-Benz Financial.
Uh-oh. Let's see if you can break that down. Let's see if she's about to just lie or really know what she's talking about. Because I know what this lady's talking about. I read all up on Mercedes-Benz. I have a Mercedes-Benz. I read up on, I already know how that whole process goes with Mercedes-Benz. I want to see if she knows. I know the process from A to Z, from the time you sign the contract to the time you close to what happens after you close. On it don't matter if it's a mortgage, auto, credit card. I can point it down for you to A to Z and pull up black and white facts to show you this was what happened. This was going on. Look, read it. Okay, right? Okay, then they're doing this. Hold on. By the way, read it. Because I tell you what they're doing, and then I let you read it from the horse's mouth next. Let's see if she does it.
Would that, they're not the trustee bank though, right? Because I found the trustee bank. So would I be sending it to the trustee still for Mercedes-Benz Financial? I guess I'm this is my first class, but I'm a little lost. Cause I already
told you they always lost. They always are. Tamika don't know the answer. Tamika don't know. Actually, Tamika's actually mad. If you know Tamika, she's actually mad right now. She don't like questions.
I started the process, so
okay.
I did start the process. So I sent my registered mail and all that to the trustee that I found, which was U.S. Bank National Trust, and they never responded. But now I'm doing CFPB.
Look, they never respond. What did I say earlier? What did I ever say earlier? What did I say earlier? What did I just say? What did I just say? What did I just say?
You're rocking with the best.
What did I just say? What did I just say? You can send it to the Kingdom Come. They're never going to respond, because if they would have read those 450 pages, 300 pages, 290 pages, it'd tell you they ain't never going to respond. Watch. What did I just say?
Would that, they're not the trustee bank though, right? Because I found the trustee bank. So would I be sending it to the trustee still for Mercedes-Benz Financial?
Let me give y'all a hint. Once it gets past this, you only got two plays. Taking the court or the IRS. That's it. Tamika don't know the IRS. She done got so many people frivolous filings. She don't know IRS. She don't know courtroom procedure. Because when you take them to court, there's a whole different set of procedures that you need to know about courtroom procedure. And you probably get about, your claim got to be this big. So how can you take all that information and compartmentalize it this big? You can't use no legal interpretations, no case law. You got to state your claim of action, what gives them rise to meets their standards. You only get about this much leeway. So how can they sum all this down into a few paragraphs? Can't. Remember, I fought the government for 5 years, filed my own motions. My appeal was in abeyance for 5 years based on my own motions. I know courtroom procedures. I know courtroom procedures. I know federal courtroom procedures like the back of my hand. I know what needs to go on it, what needs to be there, how it's supposed to be said, how it's supposed to be worded, where to go, what not to say, what not to say, what to say, what to say, what to go over here, what to put over here, what to put over here, how to put it there, how you serve them, what do you do? All of it. Been there, done that. Let's see if Tamika really knows what she knows, because I know the question she's asked, and I know the answer to her question. Oh, I can give her an answer that clean her whole mess up. I already know what she needs to do from A to Z. Let's see if Tamika knows.
I guess I'm this is my first class, but I'm a little lost because I already
heard what she said. I'm a little lost because none of what Tamika said made sense. See, what she don't realize is this lady already tried some similar shit with Tamika talk about, and the shit ain't work. That's basically what she's saying. That's why she says she's lost. See, the problem, this is how you know you're not an effective teacher, because nobody's supposed to be lost when you're teaching. Nobody is lost when I'm teaching. Even if you don't understand what the fuck I'm talking about, I'm still gonna break it down when you be like, oh, okay, I get it. I see what you're saying. At the bare minimum, she's lost. Tamika was ineffective. And if she's lost, I'm gonna jump out there and say a lot of other people are lost as well.
I started the process, so
okay.
I did.
Hold on. She started the process. Let's hear it.
Start the process. So I sent my
look. Notice how she took off the screen. See how she took off the screen? See how Tamika took off the screen? Huh? Why you take off the screen, Tamika? Huh? See how she took off the screen? Tamika don't like the question she asking right now. Because Tamika felt so much guilt and so much, she got so much of a paranoid spirit. She think that every question, somebody's going to call her out on her bullshit because she know what she's doing. You see what I'm saying? Tamika can't stand questions. She don't want you to ask no questions. All she wants you to do is sit back and be like, yeah, okay, pay your money and get the fuck out of her face. If the shit don't work out, she gonna read her. All she want to do is get through this fucking class so she can get her money and go do what she want to do.
I sent my registered mail and all that to the trustee that I.
Now, remember, she said the trustee. Don't forget, when I said they're never going to respond. Now, pay attention to what she says.
Found, which was U.S. Bank National Trust.
Yep, that's accurate. That's accurate. They're one of them. But let's see if they responded, because I said they ain't never going to respond.
And they never responded. But now I'm doing CFPB, so...
Now, when that don't work, what CFPB means, now I got to go to the consumer laws. I told you, y'all, they all do the same shit. When it don't work, they got to find something. They don't know what to do. So let me go to the consumer laws. See, they don't know what goes on back behind that door. You see? That's why I say 98% of people in these spaces have no clue. what's really going on. The Supreme Elite team makes up part of the less than 2% that really knows what's going on. I'm telling you, I'm not saying this to toot my own horn. Like, no, 98%. If you put my classes up against 98% of the people's classes, it blows that shit out the water. Because we are the very few who really knows what's going on.
I guess I'm just asking, was that the appropriate way to do it?
So that's the issue that people
see. Now, when she says that's the appropriate way to do it, y'all keep in mind, Tamika taught a class telling people to do exactly what this lady just said she did. That's the whole thing. Tamika taught a class telling people to do exactly what she said, what that lady said she did already. Tamika taught a class to do that. That's what she said. Was that the appropriate way? Now, Tamika is about to switch it because I'm watching in real time with y'all, but I know her. So she's about to switch it and make it seem like, oh, there were some issues out there. And it's not going to come back to her giving wrong information because she will never admit that her information is wrong.
people are having. So one thing about this process is when everybody
I sent my registered mail and all that to the trust, never responded. But now I'm doing CFPB. So I guess I'm just asking, was that the appropriate way to do it?
So that's the issue that people are having. So one thing about this process is when everybody start doing the same thing.
There you go. Okay. Everybody start doing the same. I knew it. It's all over. You know what the problem is? You was teaching everybody to do the same thing. You put the shit all on you. You ain't say that then. See, you ain't say it then when you was taking their money for that last process. Yo, I'm gonna do it in a controlled manner, maybe only 5-10 people, because I don't want it out there like that. It may fuck it up for every. You was just teaching everybody, taking all the money. Now you blame it. Oh, when everybody starts to do the same thing. The problem is they was never going to respond from the beginning. That's the issue. You taught them wrong. But as the narcissist that she is, it's never Tamika's fault. It's always going to be her fault, your fault. You had a block on your phone. I didn't get the consultation because you wasn't available. They've been sitting by the phone all day. There's a block on your phone. I tried to call. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. You know what? I'm just going to refund. Like, Tamika is never wrong. Now it's when everybody starts to do the same thing. But wasn't you teaching everybody to do the same thing? Weren't you? Weren't you teaching everybody to do the same thing?
Over and over again, they try to find a way to block it or.
And that's the same thing. Oh, they always trying to find a way to block it. Always trying to find a way to block it. Always trying to find a way to block it. No, the problem is everybody that's doing it, 98% of them are doing it the wrong way from the beginning. That's the issue.
Or try to change the rules or whatever. Okay.
Every time.
So looking at your contract itself, we know that this was assigned to JP Morgan Chase Bank.
So what the fuck does that mean? Every day try to find a rule change again. Okay, let's just say that's true. So what have you come up with a way to combat and do? You see what I'm saying? So what's your answer? Because she's looking for an answer, not that. That's not an answer. That's just a blame game.
Okay. So you're gonna flip this over on the back and you're gonna put pay to the order of JP Morgan Chase Bank. Because that is who's holding the contract.
No.
That is who the debt is actually owed to.
You know what's so crazy? This must be this is an older video. Want to know why it's an older video? And it's so sad that she put this out 2 months ago just to make money, not knowing that this is the same class where a lot of people fell out with Tamika behind. Because she was telling them do that, endorse the contract, and none of that shit worked. And it's a shame that she put this video out 2 months ago and got 50,000 views 2 months ago. The stamp endorse. That was the name of the class. Yep. Stamp endorse send. Yep. That was the class where a lot of people left Tamika. So this is an old video. But you know, this is how greedy she is, and she don't give a fuck. She knows she blocked a lot of people from this class. She knows she start talking shit about a lot of people from this class. And what did she do 2 months later? Look, 2 months ago, she puts it out like this is a good source of information. And the only thing she wanted to do was collect a YouTube check off it. Shorty is a piece of shit for real.
When they assigned it, okay? Is the second part to it, but we ain't got there. But initially, to get everything paid off, we're going to assign it to the bank that it goes to, which is JP Morgan Chase Bank. Caleb can tell you, you sent this to JP Morgan, correct?
That's exactly who I sent it to.
Okay.
Sure did.
And if y'all notice, it's already on my page where his is paid off. He got his title, he got everything.
Okay. Well, hold on.
Okay.
And that's also why, if you look,
that was a lie. It came out. This is an old video. It came out as a lie. It came out as a lie. It came out as a lie. This is an old video. Caleb even admitted on Core B's show he never really got remedy from anything she's teaching. That was a lie. This is all a lie. This is a scam right now to collect money from people just for this. Caleb already admitted that was a lie. Caleb admitted that he lied and said he got remedy from her when he didn't get remedy. I reviewed that Core B and Caleb show the other day. I reviewed it. Caleb has already come out and said that it was a lie. And where's Caleb in the chat? Where is Caleb in the chat? And Core B, if you go back and watch the show later, I told you stop fucking with that. Look, comments turned off. I bet it's turned off. Why would comments be turned off? Want to know why? Want to know why she purposely turned the comments off? Because she know people that actually took this class and took her advice will see this video and comment saying that shit don't work. She a scam. Why do you think she turned the comments off? If it really worked, and you got real evidence that it worked, why you turn the comments off? That's a telltale sign. That's a lie. And she turned the comments off because she know people will come back and say that was a lie. Caleb already admitted he ain't get no remedy. It's in one of my videos. I think I had Caleb in the title. He already admitted that he lied and said he got remedy from what she's teaching. He didn't get it. It's a fucking lie. This shit's crazy. Hey, babe, these motherfuckers desperate, man. They need about 2 or 3 jobs. They desperate as hell out here.
My account, the account that I had with them was under Chase. It was through the finance company, but it was the contract also.
If you give me 20 seconds, I will guarantee that you sign 20 clients. How? Well, I'm going to help you use the exact same system that helped me.
I'm tired of this commercial. If you just give me $20, you're going to be a rich and overnight. Shut the fuck up. Like that shit happened overnight. Even the lady, she don't even look like she believe that shit. Because how the fuck, like, man, come on, man. It's shit common sense.
I went over the security interest
I
portion.
want to hear your bitch ass.
That was the first thing I
want to hear your
This is why the repo man can find you wherever you at. Yeah, you can tell. Which goes back to when I was saying that before you go file any court cases or arbitration cases, give them an opportunity to settle out with you first, because by right, we have to. Right.
And this is the class where they said that arbitration shit ain't work either. So this is very much an old video. This is very much old, because she fell out with a lot of people behind this because none of this shit worked.
Right. And if it's done right, as we said, they'll normally, as y'all see with him, within 30 days, I think it was like 14 days or so after he sent that off to them. And it was time for his first payment, because remember, the contract is the payment. So when it was time for his first payment, he sent it off to them. Instead of sending them cash, he sent them their contract back. And
Sure did.
normally they will want to work with you, because every time a federal lawsuit is filed against them, every time arbitration is done against them, they fear that the FTC, the CFPB, the Security Exchange is going to start finding.
So when you do things the right way, this is how they respond. You actually get notifications. Thank you for your recent communication. We have reviewed our records and are writing to provide the following update. We have closed your account and ceased collections. You have no further obligation regarding this account. Please contact us if you have any additional questions. And that's all based on the accounting and stuff that I'm talking about. So what it boils down to is, if it works, and I didn't even want to, I wasn't really interested in doing it, but they tried to play me, so I had to get them. But you're going to have some, that's my name on it. You're going to have some type of paper trail. Like, there's going to be some type of paper trail. Tamika has no paper trail. Tamika has no paper trail. Tamika has zero paper trail. None of her shit works. And this is why she know better. Just like everybody that fell into this. Yeah, how could y'all fall for this though? You have about 50 different people selling this shit, but they all got the same format. Not like they work for the same company. They all got the same format, and everybody fell for this. I had my broker look this shit up. All fraud. Not real. Actually, Fidelity actually has be on the lookout for people trying to send this in. Y'all see that red arrow going up? That means y'all go that way.
Them. Okay. That's when you will see something on the news and say, oh, Wells Fargo had to pay $31 trillion. That came from complaints that raised the eyebrows of these particular entities. And then they got fined for it. Okay.
Can I ask one thing?
Mm-hmm.
So right now my situation is, so I actually found the trustee's phone number. I found his cell phone number. Okay. I called his number. He was so surprised that I called him. He was startled. To make a long story short, I made him give me his personal cell phone. I got his email address. He gave me his email address. And so he never really responded. So that's when I seen somebody on one of your posts did a CFPB and had got remedies. So I went through the CFPB. So mine right now, the company answered. I haven't paid. I never not paid my car note, but it'll make 30 days. It made 30 days. So now it's another month that's due. But basically, I just said in my complaint that I'm writing to them to make a complaint against Mercedes-Benz. I said my complaint pertains to their handling of the vehicle financing, which as per under the Security Exchange Act has raised concerns of potential violations with securities frauds and tax evasion. And I just put that my promissory note and certificate of indebtedness was securitized by this company, where they also received a CUSIP number and engaged in trading activities. And then I put in, I said, according to the 10K form, this is U.S. Bank National. It's the indenture trustee. I put the indenture trustee name. I put the date that the registered mail was received via UPS. I put the registered mail tracking number in there. I put the CEO name. And I put when I spoke to Juan, when I called him and he gave me his email. So now I'm just waiting for the CFP to waiting for that company response. So it's just pending right now. They answered back on the 23rd. So like, I'm like, did I do the right thing?
All they're gonna say is we have verified this account, and and that shit gonna show up as another red X on your credit report. Yolanda Joshua, you are setting yourself up for failure. And that's the problem. They don't even see they sending themselves up shit's creek by trying to get out of their obligations in a disingenuous way. That's what it boils down to. Most people just find out shit like this and act like they don't got to pay a bill. That's all it is. It ain't no real understanding or knowledge going on. They just trying to do shit to get out of a bill. Notice how she just doing shit. Yolanda Joseph, how she just doing shit, don't really understand what she doing. She just following the script. This is what happens every time when you just do shit. To be honest with you, pay your fucking bills. If you know how to recoup on the back end, do that. If you don't, just pay your bills. You know what prevent her from doing this? Don't get caught up in contracts which you know you can't afford. See, this is bad money management. See, she's the source of her problems because she doesn't know how to manage her money. See, most people think they could just tack on a whole lot of debt on their one income and then they'll just figure it out as they go. See, that's the model for a lot of Americans. This is why a lot of them, after their bills are paid, they're never in a surplus. Most people, after their bills are paid, they're waiting for their next check. Most people, their biggest deposits of the year at one time is their income tax returns. See, when you join the Supreme Elite team, you'll be getting those deposits all year round. We get them all year round. We get these deposits all year round. It's a difference.
And like, I don't know if I said it correctly but
you absolutely did. And now you've raised the eyebrows of the CFPB. So while you're doing,
no, the fuck she didn't. No, the fuck she didn't. Because they see this shit coming a mile away. They know what angle she coming from. They see it all the time.
During this process, develop taking away their security interests and their right to repossess.
How you gonna do that if you don't know the game? That's all she say. Develop taking away their security interests. How you gonna do that if you don't know the game? How you gonna do that?
Okay, get it notarized, send it in. Now with Mercedes-Benz, we are dealing with securities. Every corporation has a securitization department.
Okay.
Every one of them. Okay.
They really think that they have a securitization department. A Supreme Elite team, do you think they know there's about 8 or 9 players that's involved in one single securitization? A Supreme Elite team, do you think they can identify all 8 or 9 players? At least the most important 5 of them? Y'all think they can? Put a 1 in the chat if you think they can identify all 8 or 9 players, or at least the 5 most important ones. If they can, put a 2 in the chat if you don't think they can. Because the real issue is a lot of these people doing shit, they don't even know all the players of the game. Like, the shit that we go over in the Supreme Elite team, I could charge $5,000 for it. And they will get so much more out of that shit than what they paying here. Like, we go over this shit in the Supreme Elite team as a normal class, but this shit is really like a $5,000 to $10,000 class that I be going having. We go over that shit regular. That's why when y'all see the people that's commenting in the chat like, nah, that ain't how I go. They ain't saying there's an echo chamber. They know that's not how it really goes. They know how it goes. Everybody's in the Supreme Elite team group are on a highly advanced level. So they're looking at it from an advanced level. Nobody in the Supreme Elite team is looking at this contract like this. Everybody in the Supreme Elite team already knows what's going on behind the scenes. And that is a testimony to them and their understanding. Everybody that's in this live right now, that's in the Supreme Elite team, knows how it really goes behind the scenes. Y'all, a moment of acknowledgement. I got to celebrate the set for a second, man. I got to celebrate the set. Congratulations to the set. Now, Supreme Elite team, y'all see the value of the class that y'all in when y'all watch shit like this?
You're rocking with the best. You're rocking with the best.
You're going to send the removing their security interest and all of that good stuff. You're going to send it to their law department and find out who is over their securitization department. Everyone has one. They have to, because they're dealing with securities. Okay. Even when you guys are endorsing and sending your contracts to them, as Caleb said, you can get the address that you have a dispute and you're trying to handle it before you sue them. More than welcome.
Hey, Meta, what is this artwork?
Comedian by Mauricio Catalan, worth $6.2 million.
What?
And yeah, so that's the contract itself. Is more so
T-Mobile or anything like the Sky.
So utilizing 16 CFR 433.1 through 3 will assist. Changing your physical contract on the contract by revoking these, whatever parts of the contract that you do not agree with, remove it.
So basically she's saying, if you don't agree with it, you just remove it. Like it's just that easy. After you sign the contract, you're not obligated on the, oh my gosh, they still don't get it.
As well. Okay.
The mere fact that they're trying to get remedy from based on the contract lets me know they have no clue to what's really going on.
So start with going over your contract, guys. Removing the parts that need to be removed. But then it also says that if you plan to keep the house, let us know. So wait a minute. It tells you that you can rescind it in 3 days, and it also told you that you can keep the house.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lie. If you rescind the contract in 3 days, I don't know why everybody thinks you can rescind the contract and keep the house. You rescind the contract, you get your down payment back, they get the house. Like, no, it don't work like that. It never worked like that.
That's what it's saying. So when it comes to finding the trustees, guys, don't make it hard for yourself, okay? And because we're going to make them do their job, you just have to find what the trustee name is. Darren, where you go? I seen your hand up. There you go. Darren. You can unmute.
When you rescind a mortgage contract, do you get to keep the house? No, you typically don't get to keep the house when you rescind a mortgage contract. Rescissions allows you to cancel a specific type of loan within a certain time frame, usually 3 business days after closing, primarily for refinancing or home equity loans, not for new home purchase. If you not for new home purchase. If you exercise your right to rescind, the lender must return any money you pay, including fees, and release this claim on the property as collateral within 20 days. You essentially be back in time before the loan finalizes. Allows borrowers to cancel certain types of home loans within 3 days. When it applies, the right of rescission typically applies to refinancing a mortgage, taking out a home equity loan or a home equity line of credit. It generally does not apply to new mortgages taken out to purchase a home. and we can go to the links. Look, and this is the CFPB. Look, this is CFPB Investor Video Market Rocket. So these are good sources to let you know, because these are the same people that's gonna say, hell nah, you ain't rescinding this shit right here. You want to go here? CFPB. So what did Tamika just say? I told y'all, man. You can fact check her. If she was talking, I'd have been fact checking her in real time and then pulling that up. I says, well, that only applies to refinancing home equity lines of credits or home equity loan mortgage. So how can I still rescind it? That's all she would have said. That's what I'm saying. She talks like this because she know she's not accustomed to people challenging her on the spot. She hates to be challenged on the spot. When you're rescinding mortgage contract, do you get to keep the house? No. It only applies to certain types. When it applies, refinance a mortgage, taking out a home equity loan, home equity line of credit. One of the biggest problems in this space with these teachers, their misinterpretation of what they read. They only highlight on the points that make a good selling point. That sounds good to the ears of their unsuspecting students. That is one of the biggest problems. Look at everybody sitting there with the papers out. The poor people. They don't know they're getting ran right up Schitt's Creek. Poor people. She don't know shit about credit unions. She don't know shit about that. They're a little tricky. They're totally different. She don't know shit about credit unions. Now watch her make some shit up on the fly. Look, you see? Look, she already no, answer the question. Look, she about to start word salading. Wrong. And that's all I'm gonna say. Supreme Elite team, I got y'all. What's up, Poppy Blanco? Poppy Blanco. Poppy Blanco TV, what's going on, brother? We going over here, going over these fake gurus about financing and autos. A bunch of fake guru motherfuckers. They a bunch of fake guru motherfuckers. Seems like it's a well-focused op. I'll be going out there and get my recruit for sure. No shit, Sean Diggity. Sean Diggity.ooh. Get it in, Sean. Oh, yeah, it's a well-focused group. Oh, we move. Yeah, it's a very structured. Nah, this ain't a this is a very tight-knit group. Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah, because we don't allow bullshit like this to go on. Like we don't ascribe to shit like this because everything this, and just for people that's keeping score, this is an older video, but this is the one where Tamika had a lot of falling out with a lot of people because I think they paid like $1,500 for this and none of this shit worked. So a lot of people felt like they got taken. A 1090, they you know what? Form 56. That's all the sovereign citizen shit, way. That's on the FBI. It's all everything she said. Look, they writing it down. Oh my God. There's a man, them motherfuckers getting lifted left and right. Let's see how you answer this one, Tamika, because they are different. Let's see. Did you plan for this? Nope, they didn't. So what's your plan for this, Tamika? Nope. Won't find them. So what's your plan? Stop asking questions. You know, you heard what the fuck he said. Just get to it. Yep. So what do you got to say about? Are you going to keep it 100 with him, or you going to make up some shit to sound like you know what you're talking about? The way she answers this, if she answers this the right way, I would shed a new light on Tamika. Told you, look, she don't know. Oh, definitely transfer to a bank. She don't know. Instead of just saying, I don't know, I'll look and do some research for you. She just lied.
Considered a money purchase order. To see.
There's DIY, and there's doing it yourself. It's the difference between being.
If their license is current too. It is
bold, but it says that paragraph only applies if the box is marked, is checked, and the box is unchecked.
Yeah, so it's box unchecked. So I told you she don't even know how to answer this question.
So
because he got a complex case. I know exactly what this case. Alliance Bank, Tesla, they got a wholly different way of doing it. She don't fucking know. She ain't researched Tesla's name model. She don't fucking know.
It leads me to believe that maybe they didn't sell the contract, and I can't find any trustee for Alliant. So just wondering if you had any. The other thing I think maybe you should know is that I'm gonna finish paying it off in a couple months. If there's anything I can do about it.
absolutely. So one, you got it from a Tesla dealer?
Through Alliant. It's through Alliant.
Which means Tesla, they definitely transferred it to a bank.
Yeah, she freestyling like a motherfucker. She freestyling. She don't know. She has no clue. She freestyling. She don't know. This shit hilarious.
Okay, to buy the contract, which will be Alliant. Now, that box that you saying that they said this box is not checked, it doesn't apply. It absolutely does. 16 CFR.
I told. See. She's just gonna force her what she knows down his throat. Pause. If they say don't check it, don't apply. Because if they didn't transfer it, then there was no claims and defenses against the transferee, so it doesn't apply. She's trying to make it seem like it applies because that's the only thing she knows. Tamika, you sorry as shit.
433.1, because it's considered a money purchase order.
Yeah, because I have a bill of sale from Tesla, a motor vehicle purchase agreement.
Bam. So how do you attack that? Actually got the bill of sale. So he actually purchased it from him. So what do you got to do with that? Huh?
And so you're saying then Tesla sold that to Alliant.
Correct.
She's lying. She don't even know she said correct. She's lying. She don't know. Why would think about it? If he went through Alliant to get it and purchase it from them, and then Tesla sells it back to Reliant, that's not even how the corporate structure goes. She's lying. She just lied to this man's face. Look at his face. He don't even look like he believe her. I can see why people left the class with more questions than answers.
The corporate headquarters, which I'll show you guys the easiest way to find that information under the Security Exchange.
Tamika, you get a thumbs down for me on this one.
Okay.
Okay.
Now what you're gonna do is,
because I have a bill of sale from Tesla, a motor vehicle purchase agreement. It's
Right. He got a bill of sale. He ain't bring that up for no reason. I know why he brought it up. He know why he brought it up.
so you're saying then Tesla sold that to Alliant.
That don't even make sense. Tesla got a bill of sale, but then they sell it back to it. No, it don't work like. But watch her response. Look, this is a response is I don't know what the fuck. I'm just going to answer so you can stop asking questions because I don't know what the fuck you talk. I don't know. I don't like to be put under the gun. Watch this. And you can tell when it's like that because her answers will be short and concise, like correct. Like that's it. That's her cue to him. Don't ask no more questions.
Correct.
Okay.
You're gonna have the bill of sale through Tesla because
With Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, you can pick up the tab even when you forget your wallet. I got this.
Fargo, send cash $145 to Zelle.
Smooth. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
I'm a medical student. All I do is study, so you could choose me. I've used Grammarly for forever. One of the biggest things I use.
you ordered the car through Tesla, but now the question is, and I will have to look up because I haven't did Tesla.
Now she's being honest. I told you she ain't know. How did I know she was going? How did I know she ain't know? That little correct. Like that means don't act. I'm telling you.
I haven't poured their stuff in a minute. Alliance.
Oh, we know. You sound like you know what you was talking about. See, the people I be on Zoom calls with, the professionals, they will be grilling her with questions, and most of the time they'll already know the answers to the questions. And guess what they'll be? Well, that doesn't make sense because of this and this and this and this and this. No, that doesn't make sense because them little sophisticated high-end people that know that have me on the Zoom call just to see if I know what I know, they will eat her alive. They will eat her alive. Remember, right there, be like, well, yeah, that Thomas, yep, that is correct. That is correct. That is correct because my buddy works for this and this, and we have these conversations all the time. Yep, that is correct. Yeah, they would eat Tamika's ass, and she was on the Zoom call, the same Zoom calls I'm on. They would eat her ass alive on there.
It might be Tesla's finance company because Tesla do got finance.
We actually just did another test.
They wouldn't send me nothing in the mail. So long story short.
Hold on.
See this. Kimberly.
Yes. Hey, Auntie Tamika, how you doing?
I'm amazing, and you?
I'm doing awesome. Now, I know you were talking about our contract. Now, I got a situation. It's not really a situation, but I want you to listen to it. So, when I got the car, I actually went through bankruptcy. I had to file bankruptcy. And we had just initially got the car. So, the car, no payment was due. So, I filed a 7. And they stopped sending us paperwork. They wouldn't let me pay online or anything. So when we first started paying on the car, even though I was going to bankruptcy, I tried to pay online. They wouldn't allow me. They said I could pay over the phone or because they wouldn't send me nothing in the mail. So long story short, I called them because I saw your discharge and shit. I called them and like you said, you don't want to get the car repo, try to make arrangements with them. So I called them trying to make arrangements. They say they couldn't make arrangements with me due to my bankruptcy. Now I'm the co-signer on the car. My husband, he's the regular signer. So when I looked at my credit report, it's not on my credit report or his. So when I talked to them, they're like, well, we can't send you nothing in the mail because if we send something in the mail, it's like we trying to collect on the debt.
That's right.
But if you don't want the car, we can repossess it. So I'm listening to her because I had just finished watching class. And I said, can you repeat that again? I had like I could hear. I said, can you repeat that again, man? She said, yeah. She said, we can't send you any correspondence because we can't collect on the debt.
That's right. They can't.
But if you want to keep the car, you have to keep paying on it. And if you don't pay on it, we're gonna come out for repossession.
But they can't.
Right. So what I did, After watching your course, I did put a lien on my name. Me and my husband, like you said, we did a UCC one. We put our VIN number of our car in there. Okay. I haven't made no payment on that car. And we didn't have that car now for a year. You know, we do keep it in our garage.
Look, keep it hiding it, keep it in your garage. Look at that shit. Deandra, over a year ago. So this is the fallout from this class and other ones. I spent over $1,500 with Tamika Lindell Thorpe. I was then ignored and sent to voicemail with no callback. I want my funds back. It seems like she only talks to the bank when they call her for the disputes and lied to them that services were rendered when they were not. It's disgusting, and now I know why she has nothing to say when she calls you, because she knows she would not do anything for you once she gets off that phone. Services would not be rendered. She would not be a representative in any case. You would just get blocked. I feel that Tamika should pay all the money back to everyone, including me, that she misled and lied to. I came across the Paths page in January. Things looked convincing, but I started to learn the truth behind what she was doing as I continued to journey up under her. Bills were accepted, then overturned. Stole information and posted without permission. Charged $444 for a mortgage class that was nowhere near $400 because absolutely nothing was really taught. Just like what we reviewed today, nothing. Was refusing to answer questions after paying so much money, paying $100 a month on YouTube and false promises made. Just over it at this point. Tired of these frauds and scammers. Tired of getting scammed and other people getting scammed. Scam me since 2022. The scammers need to be shut down immediately. Sad part, they're using spiritual content to swindle people out of their hard-earned money. Scammers at an all-time high. I was scammed out over $400. Please stop giving her your hard-earned money to this scammer. She uses fear-mongering in hope of getting debt-free to grow her following and keep people to support her. It doesn't make sense that someone who has unlimited funds would need funds a lot. I can understand paying for time, but the ebooks and the information given is scattered and inconsistent. Then she yells saying people don't have foundation, but she's really mad she can't figure it out herself. She needs help because she's been saying the sky was falling and Instagram was watching her, but she's forging documents and falsifying information. She can report her page from all the fake pages she has made and make it appear that Mark is stopping her from sharing information. She can't work because she's a felon and she needs sad sheep people to fund her life. If I was successful with these processes, I would show proof of what I've done so others believe me, but you would never seen her home. And if you seen anything on her live, it looks raggedy. There's no way anyone would live house poor with the ability to live lavishly or at least clean and comfortable. Please, her name is fucked up version of Tamika. And so this is why I show my receipts. That's why they can't say, like I said, I teach, you gonna pay me for my time. I show you my receipts. Y'all see my bank deposits. I get to that six-figure bag every year. Outside of this. I told y'all. Anyone that can sit there and fraud anyone out of their money is a miserable person. In that whole class she was teaching, she knows she was scamming the whole time. My sister told me not to say anything, but I'm going to. She has children, and you took money off her children's table, Tamika Thorpe, $1,500 to be exact. She told you everything about what her and her family is going through, and you did not care at all. You have all her personal information, but she even had me listening to your page, and I thought, well, this lady knows something, but you don't. My sister Shannon wants her money back, and you need to be a good person and give it back to her. You should just close down your page before scamming those thousands of simpletons. I spent over $1,500 with Tamika Lindell Thorpe. I was then ignored and sent to voice. Okay. Yep. And this is who they're talking about right here. I don't even need to go further. I think I proved my point. Yeah, they real. They all real. Stop looking. Let's see if it's real or not. This shit's sad. At the end of the day, it's sad. It's sad. It's sad. But this is the life of Tamika Lindell Thorpe. She has no job. She has no ambition. She has nothing in life. And she was teaching mortgage classes, but she was locked up, man, for issuing fake securities. Busted in Wake County. And then she was locked up again in 2018. This is the page she was teaching under. And this is why she had to put that video back out, because she losing money. They even got pages out on her. Fraud. This is Tamika, y'all. Well, hold on. Damn. This is her page. $412 verified signatures. 412 people got scammed. And this is her mortgage class that she was teaching. This is
Feel that your child
she was teaching a mortgage class around this time.
is safe around them.
She had a mortgage class she was teaching around this time.
You're really trying to find somebody that when you're not looking, they're doing the right things.
Always found Safe Play really great in that manner.
You can see not only is your coach Safe Play approved, but also you can take a 30-minute training yourself so that you can know how to contribute to a safe environment. The court is often a home away from home for a lot of our athletes, so it's really up to us to make sure that we make it feel as safe as it is at their own home.
Know your coach's Safe Play status today.
Do not enter notice taped to the front door of the place.
Remember, this is Tamika here. And she was teaching a mortgage class like around this time, a little after.
Is Tamika Thorpe and her two kids.
But this is after she said she accessed her estate, $19 million properties, living lavish. Well, let's see.
It's called home since 2019. The Thorpe family recently evicted by the courts, a locksmith changing the locks despite a CDC moratorium on evictions.
I provided her with the CDC declaration form and the courts ruled against me.
That's the one that's teaching all this stuff that knows so much stuff. This is the real Tamika. This is the real her.
Tamika's trouble started when her lease expired December 1st and her landlord exercised her right to not renew.
When I received the termination of lease, I still attempted to pay.
Termination of lease? I thought you was teach. I thought you was access your estate.
Into the court date. I asked for an extension. I said, can we just work something out? It's in the middle of a pandemic. She said, I can't take any money from you because I'm taking you to court.
Tamika tried to prove her case in court, but despite several appeals, she lost. The judge ruling her case considered a holdover, which means her lease expired and the landlord can opt to not renew.
The court ruled that I had to get out.
And Tamika is not alone despite moratoriums. Landlords filed more than 70,000 evictions between March of 2020 and February of 2021. Since
The guru. The guru. Commercial documents. Let's see what she did here. Oh, she copyrighted her all caps name. Another in 2022. Another variation of the sovereign citizen. That's wonderful. Sovereign citizen stuff. Sovereign citizen stuff. Sovereign citizen stuff. Oh, man. Shit. Now this is Caleb. They beefing now. Fuck. Can't go in there from here. So yeah. It's another lie every time. She just lies and lies and lies. Lies and lies and lies. Business deceptions. All this. Her name at the top of the scan. Well, that shit crazy, man. Shit crazy. Y'all, this shit's been real today, man. I think we got closer to our goals today. Rick, what's up, Uncle Rick? Realistic Vibes, what's up, y'all? The game is to be sold, not told. To be sold as usual. You better know it. Let me give y'all some wrenches here. It's my Untouchables mob. Poppy already got one. Everybody already got one. All right, y'all. I got to head out of here. Hey, Realistic Vibes, I will see you tomorrow. I'll be ready around that time. I want to appreciate y'all stepping in, man. Y'all be on the lookout for these scammers, man. The scammers come in all shapes, form, and fashion, man. Be on the lookout, man. The new coach of hip hop, signing out.
Mr. 100 Raymond.
So with money talking, my talking round the clock. What you need, you cop it. The pills, them pounds, them rocks. A couple niggas ballin', cause they got a block. A royal flush and spot them, right around the top. So I'ma make it bounce back, so all you get is straight piss. She fucking niggas' pockets, now they need a rake kit. Money's my motivation, that's why they hate this. Mommy talking round the clock, nigga no breaks, bitch. We carry big weight, we will big pun the streets. Been about mine since I was in my dungarees. We blow a big tree the size of a jungle leaf. He think he big meat supplying with 100 piece. I'ma make it bounce back so all you get is straight pip. Triple B, no in between, so all the pictures can't miss. Have your daddy stuck right down that chimney like Saint Nick. To take your 2 cents and stick him in your anus. It's royal flush, nigga. I see your pantyhose. You bragging about one bra, bitch, nigga, I any hoes. I do not mingle, rotate them like hot singles. Just the sound of my money make they twat tingle. So with money talking, my talking round the clock. What you need, you cop it. The pills, them pounds, them rocks. A couple niggas ballin', cause they got a block. A royal flush and spot them, right around the top. So I'ma make it bounce back, so all you get is straight hit. She fucking niggas' pockets, now they need a rake kit. Money's my motivation, that's why they hate this. Mommy talking round the clock, nigga no breaks, okay? I'm the lotto pick, I keep an honest click. And if we were a thing, that wouldn't be stopping it. We smell a bitch as if he stuck up in some doggy shit. Shorty sniffs my money, that gives me doggy licks. It's absurd how the chain is chipped up off the bird. Oh, half the rims, half the panties taken off his girl. Fuck the ground, all my niggas post smell them birds. They say talk is cheap, so I'ma wholesale my words. I'ma make it bounce back. Niggas getting straight pit, choking to his face blue. Bust the nigga bank crip. Fuck around, all my niggas off that same shit. Man, ain't no problem to get banged quick. So with money talking, my talking round the clock. What you need, you cop it. The pills, them pounds, them rocks. A couple niggas ballin', cause they got a block. A royal flush, you spot them, right around the top. So I'ma make it bounce back, so all you get is straight pip. She fucking niggas' pockets, now they need a rake kit. Money's my motivation, that's why they hate this. Mommy talking round the clock, nigga no breaks, bitch. No pressure, nah, I ain't feeling no pressure. No, I ain't stunting her, man. She wanna get on top shit, I'ma let her. Come in. With this street code, I abide to the letter. It's just me against me, I ain't feeling no pressure. There's no hoes barred with the shit, nigga, everything gon' go. Hoes come to see me, I miss a heart and hustle up with the flow. I used to stand in the crowd, but now I'm the star of the show. My 10 in the field of play, I know you niggas looking down at my toes. I'm only smoking, no pressure. I'm digging graves with the shovel. Just like Pac in my nigga bags, you should know Liddy be a rebel. They watch the corner for a stat. Watch out. My little nigga be the lookout. You broke that shit embarrassing. Like the drunk uncle watch the cookout. My 10 down, you got a foot out. I fuck my bitch, never pull out. A bitch drowning my drip flicker, she gon' feel the stain from my wrist. You disrespect on that click. I put the tech on your lips. No handouts, they gon' go get it litty, cut a check for a quick. No pressure, nah, I ain't feeling no pressure. No, I ain't stunting her, man. She wanna get on top shit, I'ma let her. With this street code, I abide to the letter. 100, nigga. It's just me against me, I ain't feeling no pressure. There's no hoes barred with the shit, nigga, everything gon' go. Hoes come to see me, I miss a heart and hustle up with the flow. I used to stand in the crowd, but now I'm the star of the show. My 10 in the field of play, I know you niggas looking down at my toes. I ain't feeling no pressure, I do this shit in my sleep. I treat the hoes like a dog, want the bitches on a leash. I open up my palm, then tell the niggas come and eat. I got a kiss in my hand, can't tell me I ain't no peace. Let it count his blessings, know he put me up on this level. My praise is up to the gods, but don't make with this street code, it's just me against me, I ain't feeling I ain't feeling no pressure. I ain't stunting her, man. She stand in the ground, I'm star on the show. My 10 in the field of play, I know you niggas. My 10 down, you got a foot out. My bitch never pull out. A bitch drowning my drip flicking, she gon' feel the stain. With this street code, I buy to the letter. It's just me against me, I ain't feeling no pressure. I do this shit myself. Treat your hoes like a dog. Want the bitches on a leash. Cause I know my shit be loose. Sleeping on floors, now trapping out of the booth. Everything gon' go. Hoes come see me and miss a heart and hustle up with the flow. I used to stand in the crowd. With the street code, I buy to the letter. It's just me against me, I ain't feeling no pressure. Nigga grace with the shut.